What's going on, people? All right, so we're going live right about now. Usually takes a couple of minutes for people to get on quick, and it also takes a couple of minutes for me to actually see my own stream. I'm using all my. Here we go. All right, looks like I'm live. Sweet. Wow, we got Dennis Reed. He is Rito, Beltsville, Maryland. He already knows the game plan. He already knows to shout out his name and to put where he's from. All right, so everyone getting on. We're only going to be on tonight very, very quick, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I just want to go over what I did today. I didn't have a lot of time. I was just busy doing so many things because I only got another 12 days or so here in Dallas. So I actually put in about close to 3 hours today. Close to 3 hours getting this thing done. And I realized I had more body work on the other side of the car. And because I'm such a perfectionist, I was like, God, I got to do it. So I'm going to show you the back of the car, what we're doing in back of the car. I couldn't just leave it alone because we're going to be painting it anyway. But that's better for you guys, better for you VIP guys as well, because all of that little touch up, that's all going to be, I'm recording everything HD. And I'm going to explain to you the step-by-step process of what I'm doing, okay? I am such a perfectionist that when you guys go through my VIP trainings, Dennis, as you go through it, I'm sure that you're going to see, wow, he talks about things people on YouTube don't even talk about. That's how much of a perfectionist I really am. But sometimes I get lazy. So I show you guys the cheat ways to get things done as well. All right? Because sometimes you got the professional way that takes a little longer. Sometimes you got the little cheat way, but you get the same results. So I like to share all of those ways with you guys as well. So it's Friday night. It was pouring like crazy earlier. And thunder like scared my ass. But now we're all good. All right. So does everybody hear me okay? I should have said this earlier, but does everybody hear me okay? Audio's clear. Visuals clear. Let me know. Just type in the chat. Audio and video are good. All right. Awesome. I think it's Friday night. Everybody's probably out with their friends or having a party or whatever. So maybe it's a little slow in here tonight. But the more feedback you guys give me, the more I can give to you guys. Awesome. Now we got some feedback coming in. Hopefully more people join up. So this is what I did so far. Can you guys see this? All right, so, and look at the front cover. Okay, this is called the bumper cover. Okay, a lot of people call this the bumper, but this is really not the bumper. It's the bumper cover because it's plastic, right? This is the actual bumper. Okay, and this is the bumper reinforcement. This is the bumper. Okay, the plastic that goes over it, your front kit, that's the bumper cover. All right, that's the right terminology. So I sanded, the front down. We did the front, and then I had some extra Bondo body filler. So I just skinned all the rock chips really quickly, whatever I could get. Okay, so you can see that. And this I'm going to sand down with 240, just get it nice and smooth again. And then we're going to 2K prime it and then block it, and we should be good. All right, so that's how it's looking. Here's the dent that I filled, okay, and we block sanded that. I'll show you block sander here, okay? We block sanded it crisscross. Every time you do your body work, you want to make sure you crisscross. So you sand like this, and then you sand like this, okay? So you could see that it filled the dent right in there, and it feels good. And you always want to use the powder of the body filler here, right? So you can feel. Close your eyes and feel it. If you feel a low spot or a high spot with your eyes closed, because your hands actually can do more feeling than your eyes. You guys getting this? So if you go like this, you feel it. If you don't feel anything, you're good. Same thing over here. I didn't realize it, but there was a big dent here. Okay? So I actually filled it, block sanded it out. Now we got this done. All right, so there's a big dent there. big dent here. Oh, this is real, not that big, but it's a dent. Okay, we did our rock chips. Couple of more rock chips I got to do. I pretty much got most of them, but I think there's a couple more, that I got to do. Here's the bumper cover. We had a big, massive scrape right here, right? I put some body filler on that. You could see how I filled all the rock chips with my body filler. I don't want to get too dusty tonight. I just finished up at around 6:30. I finished up, and so this is going to dry overnight, and we're going to sand it all down with 240 and then give the whole thing a coat of nice 2K primer, water sand it out with 400, and our front cover is pretty much done, right? We're going to make sure we sand all these glossy areas too, right? You always want to make sure you get all the glossy, right? And I didn't really sand this yet because we're not done. We're taking care of the rock chips. Then when we water sand it, we water sand everything. Okay? Now let me show you the back. Okay, the back, there was a little dent here. There was a dent here. Okay? This Bondo's still tacky. It's just the top is tacky. I didn't put enough hardener in it. So when you don't put enough hardener in it, it'll stay tacky for a bit, and if you try to sand it, it'll clog your sandpaper up. So I'm just going to let this sit overnight, and maybe our first pass with the sandpaper is going to clog it up, but our next piece of sandpaper, it'll be fine. So with this piece here that I had to repair, you notice that I had to tape up this panel here so we don't scratch it up, right? So what do you think I'm going to paint here? You guys tell me. Type it in the chat. How am I going to blend this? You guys got any ideas of how I'm going to do this? Okay. Also, this piece here, it looked like somebody dropped something on it, and there's a big chip here, right? And what I could have done was, after the paint job, after I buffed this out, I could have just got a paintbrush with some red paint and just hit that. But still, it's not going to be a professional paint job. You know what I mean? You're going to see the little touch-up mark. So I was like, shit, I'm doing the quarter panel, right? Well, I might as well do this piece. So I'm actually going to paint, it's going to be painted like this, okay? The hood, the trunk is going to be masked up. We're going to paint this quarter panel, right? I'm not going to base everything. I'm just going to base right in here, okay? Just dust it in here and then clear the whole quarter panel down to here. Okay, we're going to clear all of that. We're going to mask the bumper up, maybe take the light out or maybe mask it up because I'm not going to really base in here. I just want to hit the red up in here just to get that red. So all we have to worry about is just buffing the trunk to really match in this area. And it kind of sucks because it's so close to the corner that we may see a color difference because I really don't want to get into painting the trunk now, right? So I'm going to go ahead and try my best as I can to do this area. And then I'm going to actually fill this with glaze putty, and I'm going to mask up the whole trunk. So we're going to paint the whole quarter panel and this rail back here. I'm going to base this and then clear it. So that's how this job is going to be. All right, so we're going to do this rail, quarter panel, front hood, front bumper cover. Get it all done, and then once all that's done, what we're going to do is detail the whole car. Basically buff out the whole car. Professional buff job. Like buff it out, bring the red out, and make it look awesome. And that's about it. So you guys getting the game plan? You guys liking this content so far? Give me a thumbs up or yes. Give me some feedback here. And then I will go back and we'll do some quick Q&A. No, painting the whole car is a whole nother deal. I'm only painting 1, 2, 3 panels versus 8 panels on a car. So, yeah, I'm only painting the quarter panel, the hood, and the bumper cover. And this little rail, I wouldn't even call this a panel. That's just a strip. So that's all I'm painting. Couple of pieces. So that's how we're going to lay it out. So I basically put in 5 hours so far. 5 hours getting the car to look like the way it looks, right? Taking the lights out, the bumper cover, doing the body work, doing the sanding, right? So my estimation is it'll probably take me another 2 days because I don't like working all day on it. I like to just put a couple of hours in a day because I just got other things to do. So it's not like I got a full 8 to 10 hours in the shop. So what I'll probably do is the next step for me is to do all the body work and get everything primed. Once it's all primed, right? Once you got all the primer on it, it filled all the scratch marks, and you're ready. You just got to block sand it out and wash it down, right? Block sand it down with 400, get it all ready for paint, right? Wash the car down, okay, and mask it up after it dries, of course, and paint it. And you want to know something that I hardly hear anybody talk about, which and it's like ultra important. And I actually film that part of it for the VIP course, but I also talk about it in my VIP course. Okay, is when you're doing any kind of paint job on a car, right? It is very, very important, okay, to blow out all the nooks and crannies, okay? You want to blow out all the cracks with your blowgun. Blow it all out. Blow out in here because you get leaves and sticks all in there. I already did that, okay? You'll have leaves and sticks all up in here, and when you're painting, if you don't do that, when you're painting, the shit will blow out onto your paint job. Are you guys getting this? Ultra important. Before you do any complete paint job on a car, you want to make sure you blow out under the hood, you know, your wheel wells, the engine bay, underneath the hood. You want to make sure all the dust is out, okay? Open up your trunk, your door jambs, blow it all out and wipe. You've got to make sure you have to wipe everything down with wax and grease remover, right? Whatever you're painting. And then what I usually like to do first, before I even do that, is actually detail the engine. Like pressure wash the whole engine. Get some degreaser, spray degreaser all in here. Wash it down. You know, get it all nice and clean, and then mask it, and then paint it. And then when you take everything off, it looks nice and new. So you know there's no dust and crap in it. So I don't know if I want to get into that now because now that I do that, all the grease is going to get all over the place, and I got exposed body filler and sanded car panels, right? So that I don't want to do that. I'm going to do the detail afterwards, okay? But that's a huge tip for you to take home and remember for the rest of your auto body career, all right? You always want to make sure you blow out gas caps, you know, blow all that shit out. And the same thing is if you wash your car before you paint it. A lot of times, you know, if you're doing a complete paint job, you're going to wash the car down with a good detergent to get all the wax and grease off to make sure it's clean, especially if you're water sanding, you got caked up milky primer all over the place, right? You're going to wash it down, right? And same thing. If you let it dry, if you end up washing it and you're going to be painting it that day, you want to make sure you get your blower, and go around every little nook and cranny and take a half hour and just blow all the water out. Because that's another bad thing is when you're painting, you get some freaking water coming out by your handles or by a lighter, whatever it is, okay, if you're not taking all the pieces off the car. All right? You guys liking this so far? You guys getting this? Give me some feedback quickly. Quick feedback. We're on for 15 minutes, so we'll do about 10 minutes Q&A now, and we'll call it a night. I know it's Friday night. A lot of you guys want to spend some time with your family, go to the movies, or, me, I'm going to take a break, dude. I have been working my ass off like crazy the past couple of weeks, and I decided tonight, after I do the YouTube show for you guys, I decided tonight I was gonna do like an Amazon Prime movie and like just chill or watch Netflix and just watch a movie. Like I normally don't watch TV I'm always like working, you know, so I'm always doing something work related, being productive. So tonight it's like, screw it, I'm gonna eat a freaking ice cream and I'm gonna watch a movie. So that's my plan tonight. All right, so as you can see, I got my primer set up. I got my spray gun set up, ready for tomorrow. Oh, let's see, tomorrow, yeah. Maybe I'll probably just get the body work done and prime it tomorrow. This way, all I have to do is water sand it, wash it down, clean it, mask it, and paint it, okay? But usually, usually, if you want to kick ass, you could get this shit done in one day. Like 1 day body work done that night, ready for paint. I mean, that's how quick you could do it if you want to. Me, I'm putting in a couple of hours in at a time. That's why it's taking days, right? This is not a customer job. It's my car. So that's why I could do that. So, all right. So let's do some Q&A, buddies. Q&A. All right. Let me see. One sec. Let me get set up here. Okay. What kind of clear do you use? Well, on this project, I'm going to be using the House of Color Clear Coat by John Kosmowski. I have some leftover. So this is what I'm going to be using. The US CO1. It's a very, very good clear. You hardly get any dieback. Dieback means after you paint it, a week later, it starts to get a little dull. But even if you do get a little dieback, you could always color sand and buff it out to a nice shine. Just remember that. Okay? Great. Are you going to use epoxy and 2K? Rick says. No, I'm not using epoxy. I'm just using a 2K primer. I'm actually using a 2K. It's called Feather Fill by Evercoat. This is my primer. Okay? It's a polyester primer, very thick, premium polyester primer surfacer, high build, no shrinkage, cross-link cure, which is really good. It cures really hard. Excellent flow and leveling, sands easily, fast dry to sand, holds down repair surface imperfections. So this is some pretty good stuff. If you're just going over body filler, scratches, rock chips and shit, it'll fill it all up. Lou Penna says, how much would I charge for a job like this? Well, a job like this, since it's a high-end car and the customer is going to want a nice job on it, it's different. It's different than working on a cheap beater Honda versus a nice car like this. Your customer is going to expect more, so you have to charge more. So you're going to be doing a good job. You're going to take your time. You're not going to rush it. You're going to be kind of a perfectionist. You're going to color sand and buff it after you paint it. I personally would charge to do the hood, do that, do these repairs, no less than $2,500. No less than $2,500. At least $2,500, maybe even like $2,700, $2,800 with materials. That's how much I would charge to do this, and have it come out really nice, right? And it's a good 3-day job. If you're really gonna do a good job on it, it's a good 3-day job. Taking your time. 1 day getting the body work all done, next day painting it, the day after color sanding and buffing it, and detailing it up. 3-day job, easy 3-4-day job. All right. Let's see. How are you? I have some. Chuck says I have a truck, some rust, couple holes, lots of small dents. Can I do the repairs now and prime and seal with a spray can? Complete paint job next spring. That's a tricky question because, if you don't seal it, paint is what's going to seal your surface, your body, right? If you don't seal it right away, the rust is going to come back, right? Primer is only going to hold up for 6-8 months. After that, the rust is going to start bleeding through. You're going to get bubbles again. You have to do the body work over again. You could do that. I've seen people do that. I've done it. My dad's done it. You're just going to have to make sure you're going to have to redo the bodywork areas. You probably get most of the hardcore bodywork done now, but next spring again, you're going to have to go through each area again and make sure you got no holes, or make sure the bodywork's not falling apart, basically, because of not being sealed, right? And you want to make sure you undercoat the back of it if you're doing rust. So Chuck, we also show you how to do all of that in the VIP course. So check out Learn Auto Body VIP if you want to learn more about all that kind of stuff. Have you used products from Paint for Cars? I have not. I've heard of them. I have not. I have not. Paul, what's up, Paul from Indiana? Okay. How long do you have to wait after clear coat to color sand and buff? Paul, it depends on. Let me sit down. It depends on the job, right? Customer jobs. And it depends on the clear too. You can get fast speed clears, spot repair clears, that if you do a touch-up like this, the next day you can color sand and buff. But a lot of clears nowadays, you could color sand and buff a day or two later with no big issue, with no problem at all. So, especially if you're like doing a customer job and you got to get the job out, if I painted this tonight, right? If I were to paint this tonight, tomorrow, if I wanted to, I could color sand and buff it and make it look nice and boom, out the door. But I wouldn't wax it. You don't want to wax it because the paint is still new and it's still breathing. Once you wax it, you kind of trap you trap the paint from breathing, which can give you some chemical reactions like solvent pop. That's another one. So you don't want to wax a fresh paint job till about a couple of weeks after. Okay, good tip. Hope you guys are you guys liking this so far? So if you guys are liking this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to come back. I want to try to do these once a week, 8 p.m., usually Thursday night for the auto body, okay? Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, we do these for everyone, for the VIP, and I hope you guys learn a lot. And, sometimes I'm going to be traveling. Sometimes I'm going to be in Japan. Sometimes I'm going to be at a hotel somewhere. But I want to try to stay on schedule with these, and at least I can get on here and we can talk. Like, we could do Q&A. Like, I'm sure you guys got some Q&A. You need a quick answer. We could just get on, and I don't have to show you some live stuff. We could just BS auto body for a little while, 20, 30 minutes. And I'm sure, you guys would like that too, right? Give me some feedback on that. That's cool, right? Because I'm not always at the shop banging projects, but when I do, I love to show you what I'm working on. So, and just remember that all of this is recorded high def for VIP guys. All right. So Rick says, if you have bare steel showing, would you epoxy then 2K? No. Rick, if you have a lot of bare metal showing, I would epoxy primer. But if you have metal showing like this, okay, a couple just around the corners or some areas, right? I wouldn't worry about it. A 2K primer is perfect. It'll cover this, no problem. Just as long as you sand and you don't cut through metal again. Just make sure you sand it, right, when you're getting it ready for paint, but don't cut through the primer, okay? Because your 2K primer is a good foundation to paint over. All right, so you don't have to epoxy prime and then 2K prime on top of that. No, little metal areas. But if you have a whole fender that's metal, you're working on a 57 Chevy or something, and you got a whole bare panel, right? Then you'd want to use a good epoxy primer, right? And some epoxy primers, you could use that as a base to paint over after you just sand that down with 400. If you got a thick epoxy primer on it and it's a light color, like a light gray, you could use that as your base for putting your base coat on. So, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. There's a lot of ways to do body work. There's a lot of ways to do this. That's why I think it's important to learn from one person and you go all the way through the paint job. A lot of guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys on YouTube, you guys are watching a bunch of people on YouTube, right, do auto body. And some people are saying this, some people are saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I think, right? Some guys will say do it like this, some guys will say do it like that, some guys you don't even know if they have experience, but they're saying stuff, right? And you get confused, right? Am I making sense or am I not making sense, right? Because you're going, this guy's saying sand with 600, Tony's saying sand with 400, John's saying sand with this, and you're like, what the hell do I do? So my recommendation is follow one guy that you like from complete to finish on a paint job or the bodywork process, so if you fuck up, you know who to blame. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But that's the main thing, because everybody has their own process with bodywork. It's not set in stone, right? As you do this, as you learn, you'll discover your own shortcuts. You'll discover certain things that you could do, all right? And me, I've been doing bodywork since I was freaking 14 years old, 13 and a half years old, all right? I've been doing this for a long time. I'm 34 now, right? So I've been doing bodywork for a long time, and it's in my blood. So that's that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any other last questions? We'll do them right now, around 25 minutes. Any other last 2 questions? I'll take the last 2 questions in, whatever they come up quick. And then give me some feedback if you guys are liking this, some thumbs up, you rock, Tony, or whatever. Just give me some feedback, and we will do 2 more questions, and I will call it a night tonight. And for all of you new guys, how many new people on here? First timers, can you guys type in like first timers? Just type in the chat. First time watching your YouTube, Tony. First time. Okay. This is great, especially for me being new to painting. Awesome, Paul. Okay, Dennis says, please explain high volume, low pressure versus gravity feed guns. It's the same thing. Same thing. High volume, low pressure is just the style of gun, or they have low volume, low pressure, right? This is a siphon gun, right? Because you're sucking up the paint from the cup. This is a siphon gun. Gravity feed is where your paint is on top, okay? You ever see these guns? I'm sure you have, right? Where your cup is on top, right? This is a gravity gun, okay? So that's the difference. And these are better to paint with. This is the newer style. I mean, they've been around for 20 years now, but they're the newer style where if you're painting a hood, right, you're still going to get paint going. Even if you're low on paint, you're still going to get paint going in to the gun, and you can paint. If you're low on paint with this, because of the, let me show you. Because of this, right? If you're low on paint and you're painting a hood like this and your paint is over here, nothing's going to come out. So it's better to have gravity feed, so you got your paint on top, so when you're painting, you got paint. You know that paint's going to be coming out when you're painting, right? So that's the difference. I hope you like that. All right, awesome. Low Roland LS finally made it after 20 minutes. Dude, I am so sorry. We're about to close off. I've been on here. It's hot as hell. Like, I got a movie to watch, dude. Watch the replay because we have a lot of important stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for saying first time, first time, first time, first time. Not first, but second time. Awesome. Yeah, dude, watch the replay. Roland, while you're on here, I'll answer 1 question if you have a question while you're on live. I hate to just cut you off like that. What causes orange peel? There are a lot of reasons why, and there are a lot of causes of orange peel, okay? One of them is your paint is too thick. Another one is you're spraying at too much of a low pressure. Another one is your mixture of paint is wrong. Another one is you're not spraying at the right distance from your panel. You know what I mean? You're too close with a low pressure or too far with a high pressure will give you dry paint. Okay, there's a way to paint. So for you first timers on here, well, for you guys who never got my VIP book, you could actually go here and you could put your email in and download a free 85-page auto body and paint manual right there. And then I actually talk about what causes orange peel, best sandpapers to use. So you could actually print it out and have like a little manual on the side if you want to. It's pretty cool. All right. Dennis Reed, your presentations are addictive. Great job as always. Many thanks. I appreciate you, Dennis Reed. And excellent decision for investing in VIP. You know, you're going to learn a lot as you go through that course. This is going to be in there within the next 6 weeks or so. You got to give me time because I have to, after all this footage is filmed, I got to get it to my video guy. He's going to make it super cool. I'm going to do the voiceover. I personally do all the voiceovers and go over each and every little step. Like, I'm a fanatic. You know, I'm a perfectionist. So I like to cover all ends when it comes down to teaching. And I love teaching. I love showing people how to get things done with auto body because it's my passion. I mean, I grew up around this. I remember being, you know, 15 years old, 16 years old with my first BMW that I had. I used to be in the freaking garage working till 11, 12 o'clock at night, buffing it out and making it look cool. I always had the coolest cars when I was a kid. You know, I was 15 in Hawaii. I was born and raised in Hawaii. And when you were 14 and a half, you could get your license. By the time I was 15, I had my first car. It was like an 88 Buick. No, it was an 89 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. After that, I got myself a 90, what year was it? 94 BMW 328 IS. That was a sweet ass car. I did a custom paint, put a M body kit on it. And that, dude, I used to go out with that thing and people used to be like, damn, that paint job is badass. Like it looked like a freaking mirror. I had the Lexus IS 200 Spectra Blue on it. That was my favorite color. I must have painted 3 cars the same color. But a lot of experience, dude. And you know, man, I wish I would have filmed from the beginning. Like, there was no YouTube back then. You know, I started YouTube in 2008. You know, and I wasn't even recording all of my projects then. I can't tell you how many cars I did body work and paint on. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm gonna have to put some work in tomorrow. Put a couple of hours in here. Get more progress done, and then next week we will continue the sessions. Next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. This thing should be done. All right, painted at least. If not buffed out, I'll buff it out when I come back because I got to head back to Japan for a couple weeks and then I come back. So my goal is to actually just to get it painted, and then I'll leave it in the garage and I come back. I can finish it up. I could basically buff it out, color sand, buff the hood, and detail it. All right. Yes, I know. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Spread the love. I will see you on next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. Cheers! Peace out. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Much mahalo. Mahalo. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. Cheers. I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for meeting me on a Friday night. Homie G's, gangsters, pimp ass mothers. All right. Good night. Peace.